Hey y'all, well, hey my peeps, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, I just did a video. It is in the middle of, I think it's uploading, right? No, it's published already. So hopefully y'all are on your way to get into that video. All right. What's up, my peeps? How y'all doing? Are you guys being safe? I hope you are being safe. I hope you're social distancing, wearing your mask, protecting yourself and others. I don't care if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. Remember to protect yourself and others at all costs. Okay? Hope y'all are having a great day. Remember, if you're not, that's always okay too. Did I change the scenery a little bit? Yes, I did, because we in my bathroom right now because I gotta do some stuff on my face. Okay, I'll probably do like a what do they call it, a skincare routine video eventually. But this video I want to talk about the my day today. Okay, so y'all, I talked about the crazy stuff that I went through yesterday. So now we're caught up. So now we're in today. Okay. So, I crashed about 1 a.m., right? 1 a.m. today, 1 a.m. Thursday morning. Alright, my body was like, girl, we are done, we're over this. And I'm like, sis, the reason why I was up is because y'all wouldn't go to sleep. And so we finally managed to get to sleep around 1 a.m., right? So I wake up and about 7-ish, and so I start studying some more of the material, right? Or at least I tried to, because some of that time had to be me using that time to print off a paper. And of course, if y'all know the chronicles of my printer, he won Aftermites Day. But is he after? So we had to figure out how to use the printer that they have down in the lobby area. I don't even know if they call it a lobby, but we're just gonna call it the lobby area. And it wasn't working. Okay, the first time I tried it, because apparently it won't let you like print from Google Docs. If you guys know what I'm talking about, most of y'all college students probably know what I'm talking about when I say Google Docs. For y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically like Microsoft. And if you don't know what Microsoft is, that's where we basically write all of our papers and things like that, us college folk. Or people who has a job and things like that. But you know me, I'm in college, so I like to refer to the college folk, alright? So, to the college folk, y'all know what I'm talking about. But to the non-college folk, that's where we type up our papers most of the time, is Google Docs. Because most of the time, a lot of people don't have Microsoft, so they gotta go with Google Docs. Anyone can really have a Google Doc, to be honest with you. All you gotta do is just create an email or an account with Google, and then you have access to be able to use Google Docs. You know what I'm saying? So anyone can really use it. So, and that's where I had my paper on. So, I found out that that printer that they have downstairs, that monstrosity of a printer, would not let me print via Google Docs, right? So then I had to download from Google Docs into Microsoft Word. So I was like, okay, maybe it's because it's a Google Doc or it's on a Google Drive. I was like, okay, let me download this and make it into a Microsoft or a Word document. So I made it into a Word document, and lo and behold, it worked, right? So when I did that, it printed. Okay, great. My parents obviously had to pay for the printing because, as always, if y'all don't know, I have no money. Okay, I'm a broke college student. Okay, I have no money. I live with my parents. I'm a spoiled child. Yeah. So I did the printing, right? My history teacher, this is for history, right? I'm gonna call it history. This is for history. And he has a very specific instructions on how he wants things, right? He wants, I won't go into everything else he wanted, but I know for sure that he wanted, for the cover page, as some of us may know it as the title page, he wanted it to be where it is, the title is whatchamacallit, the title of the paper needs to be centered right, wait, it needs to be centered and 1/3 from the top. That's where the title needs to be, okay? It needs to be centered and 1/3 of the way down, okay? Your name needs to be 1/3 from the bottom and 1/3 to, depending on how you guys are seeing it, I think it's from the right, okay? So when I printed it, the general positions of the title in my name was in a good area, but it clearly was not 1/3, right? The title was kind of, but I was like, since I have to redo it anyway, I might as well just do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Just might as well just like do it completely right. The name was nowhere near. It was like, that was not 1/3. That was more like 1/6 from the bottom and like 1/5 from the right. Okay, so I had to redo that. So then I had to go back downstairs. And this time I just took off the rest of the document and I just printed the title page, right? So I did that. And then it finally came out right, alright? So then we're good. So I do it, I neatly place them papers. Okay, back to business. So then I neatly placed the papers nice and tidy. Did the little stapler, click, and then I put it nicely in my notebook. Because I didn't know if I was gonna have time in between me going from my bio lab exam to meeting with my teacher, because as you guys remember, if you guys did what you were supposed to do and watch the first video and watch them in order, y'all would know that I had but actually I don't even know if I mentioned this, but when you miss a day of class, right, and of course the day that I had to miss because of unfortunate circumstances, it was the day where I actually have 4 classes. And so I emailed my teachers, while I was exhausted, so you know I like did like quadruple check of the email to make sure it was right and made sense, okay? So my history professor had emailed me back saying, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. Just come meet me in my office and we'll work through this, or we'll work it out together or something like that. So, back to now. So, I didn't know if I was going to have time between the exam and by the time I had to meet my history professor, because my lab exam, like that time period that I have it ends at like, it ends close to the time where he is available during those hours. So I didn't know if I was going to have time, so I was like, let me just put it in my bio notebook or whatever, just in case. So I do that, I start studying, and like I'm just like, oh, so worried. I'm like basically like disappointing myself already, because I'm like, and like I was texting my mom, and then like I was calling my mom, and my mom was talking to me, and she was like, girl, you just focus on what you do know. Like, you can't cry over spilled milk, okay? Well, that's what she said that. But, basically, that's what my mom was saying. Like, you can't control what happened yesterday. You were in so much pain because, you know, my arthritis of the jaw and things like that. So, I couldn't go because when it comes to my arthritis, you know, I'll go into that later, but just keep in mind that I'm not, like, fibbing or just trying to get out of class. I want to not miss classes, okay, y'all? So, anyway, I am, like, trying to focus. I'm, like, at this time, I'm still pretty sleepy, even though I got a good amount of sleep. At this point, my body is, like, trying to catch up to all the sleep that I definitely did not get. And so I'm studying, and then, like, it gets closer and closer, and then it's like, okay, y'all, it's time. We get to the exam. We do the exam. I know that I failed the exam. Then I called my mom, and she's just like, girl, like, it is what it is. You did the best that you could, and let's, like, move on. That's when she was talking about the self-pity thing. Give yourself 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself, and then let it go. Move on. Because she's like, girl, if you are, like, putting yourself down and worrying and making yourself sick over each exam that you do, because it's not the first time I was, like, stressing out and, like, getting sick over these exams or whatever. Mom's like, then you're not going to make it, sis, because you have a gazillion more years. Because, you know, for those of you that you don't know, I want to be a pediatric surgeon, specialty like neonatal and things like that or whatever, which we'll go into in another video. But she was like, you gotta, like, stop doing this to yourself, Kyra. You know, just go into it knowing that, hey, you will probably fail the exam, but that's why you do amazing and fantastic in other areas of the class, because that's what's gonna save you when push comes to shove. And so then we talk. The printer person comes over here. Y'all, I am putting it into my mind that this printer hates me. I think that it is just coming after me, okay? I know y'all don't want to believe it, that this inanimate object is coming after me, but it is, okay? So, hold up, no, wait a minute. My sister has texted me. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the printer hating me. Right. So the IT support person comes over. He looks at it. Now I'm just saying, like, yo, the reason why I called you over here is because, dude, when it's not that the printer is not connecting to the internet or whatever the case may be, when I go to print a document, there are no words on the paper. Okay? I mean, one time I was lucky enough for it to come out like this. See, we got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We got about 3 solid words, and then the rest are just, I don't know. So he comes over and he's like, okay, so I do see that you actually have an internet issue. Your printer is not connecting to the Wi-Fi. And I was like, I didn't even realize I had a Wi-Fi issue. Dude, like, I'm telling you what the issue is, okay? I know it's saying the internet. I know it is, but the printer is lying to you. Stop believing it, okay? Stop believing the printer, okay? The printer is a narcissist, okay? The printer is trying to confuse your brain here. The printer is trying to confuse your mind, all right? That is not the issue, dude. The issue is that there are no words on the paper. And so then, he fixes the internet issue with the printer. I was like, okay. And so he's like, you should be good now. And I'm like, these people are not listening to me when I tell them these things. And so, he says you should be good now. So he tells me to pull up a document on my laptop that doesn't have any confidential information. And I was like, okay. So I did that. He's like, okay, so this is a good document. There's no confidential information. I'm like, no, there's no confidential information on it. So he goes to print it, but it's a blank sheet. And I'm like, He's like, that's interesting. That's weird. That's an issue. And I'm like, really? I was like, huh, that is interesting. Because y'all, at this point, it's like, the person ain't really listening to me anyway. The printer's not listening to me. My door is not listening to me because the door refuses to let the key card work. And so now I got a key. I got to stick the key in the hole. Like, that's the whole thing, y'all. So he does all this mumbo jumbo. And he's like, yeah, so it's no longer a Wi-Fi issue. And apparently what the school does is it's only Wi-Fi support. They don't really call it just IT support. They call it Wi-Fi support. So then they're like, yeah, so that's actually not a Wi-Fi issue anymore. That's more of a issue with the printer itself. And so then he went on to this mumbo jumbo saying, excuse me, that he's like, let me do some research and things like that. And I'll like get back to you if I don't find anything or whatever. And I was like, okay. So he leaves. I talked to my mom and she's like, no, we're not doing this. Just get on the phone with the HP people. I was like, okay. So, and mind you, I have class at 2:30 around this time. So like everything that is happening right now has happened between since me finishing my exam and talking to my teacher to, yeah, me getting ready to leave for math class. So, and then I get a text and the person that was here, the IT person, the Wi-Fi support person says, okay, so did some research. If you take the cartridges out and you wipe the corner area of this, you know, it should work or whatever. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I'm like, you know, at this point, I'm going to try anything. So I tried it. Clearly didn't work. So then, I actually talked to the person. I mean, I went to HP. What is it? I went to HP, and the way that they get you from point A to J is very time consuming. So I don't even know how I would even describe how I got from point A to J. Like, it was just a whole mess. I went to the support thing, and then it's not like they give you a direct phone number. They like have you kind of like download this app or whatever, which is like Support Assist or something like that, and then you get on there, you do some configuration, and then you're basically talking to like a chat agent, or it's a robot agent, or I don't know what they call the thing, but you know. And then it gives you another link within it after it kind of gets a feel over what's the issue, and then it takes you to a whole nother thing. And then from there, you gotta type in a whole bunch of junk about your printer and ink cartridges and all this other good jazz. And then eventually you get a phone number. And then you call it. And then I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then eventually I would have to be like, okay, I gotta go because math is starting soon. And so I called my mom, we talked for a little bit, and then I went to math class. Y'all, let me tell you something about math class. I'm not talking about the professor. I'm not saying anything about the professor. I'm just saying that, y'all, what was happening in that math class was like, because like she's actually a really interesting person in the way she teaches. Like, I don't know the best way to describe it. Like, the way she teaches, like, you can clearly understand it. Like, she does it in such a way that you can understand it, which is a really good thing. But I think just this class period, our class, we just weren't giving it. We just weren't having it. We were just, like, so exhausted. I mean, I had a reason for being exhausted. And you never know what's going on behind closed doors with the other students or your peers or whatever the case may be. So they could have been the exact same situation that I was in on Wednesday. We were just not it. We were all freaking bored. Or maybe not just bored. We were just maybe exhausted. Like, we just, like, the energy levels was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were just over it, y'all. My peeps, we were just over it. Like, there's this one dude. I mean, he never really ever actually kind of pays attention. Well, actually, he does. I take that back. He does. He just doesn't take notes. He just, like, messages his friends and stuff, whatever. But he's, like, a really smart kid. Or at least he knows what's happening. He doesn't really need to take any notes or whatever. I didn't really need to take any notes either, but it's so smart too. Yeah. But like, we just weren't giving it. I think it's because everyone like pretty much knew this kind of section of the math, which is maybe why we were so bored and over it. Or maybe it's just like one of those Thursdays where we were just like really over it, y'all. Like, I'm telling y'all, this dude was like, okay, he was just messaging people, and then there was one part of the section though where like the way she was describing, we were like, what the heck, why is she showing us the way to do this? Because she was like, there's 2 ways that y'all can do this or whatever. And so when she did it a certain way, I was like, I have never heard it that way before. Who would ever do it that way? That seems like a lot more work and way more room for error and confusion. So, and I'm not going to say names, but this dude over right here that I keep talking about, he was like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, we were like, where is she getting? I don't know. And then this girl that I always sit next to, the reason why I say that is because, like, y'all know, y'all students, whatever, know, like, pretty much on the first day of school, wherever you sit, that's pretty much, like, your go-to spot or whatever. And really, after, like, the second day, that's, like, your set-in-stone spot. So, and she had already been there first in this seat, and so I just kind of just sat next to her. So that's what I say. That's when I say the girl that I sit next to every day. She's always on her phone. But today she was just kind of like, staring off in the window and things like that. This dude back here that sits, I don't think he really pays attention either, but it is what it is. The dude right here, he doesn't pay attention either. He just goes on his phone or whatever. I mean, at some point we were paying attention, but you know what I'm saying? Like, most of the time, this dude is messaging his friends and playing Sudoku. And she's normally on her phone texting, I don't know. He's back there texting or on his laptop. And this dude, when he does come to class, he's normally on his laptop doing I don't know what. And those two are, you know, doing things that we don't know. And let's see. Okay, this dude, yeah, he's on his phone most of the time. But he actually got called out on it. But see, when she calls people out on, like, maybe when they're on the phone or something like that, she, like, makes it, like, a joke or whatever, and she's like, see, I see y'all be trying to do some tricks or whatever. I'm gonna have some tricks, too, when we come to class next time, and I see, you know what I'm saying? Like, she, like, makes it fun and entertaining. Like, she doesn't, like, harp on you or, like, I don't want to be dramatic or whatever, but I don't know, like, y'all know some of those teachers that, like, are really hard. You know what I'm saying? What I mean when I say. So, he was on his phone pretty much the entire class period. She, over there, when she comes to class, see, when I say when I'm, like, talking about certain people, I'm like, when they do come to class, you get what I'm saying? Anyway, when she does come to class, let me see, what did she do? She'll actually be paying attention. So yeah, she's pretty, like, good. Like, I'll see her on her phone sometimes, or maybe I see her more, like, check her phone sometimes. Anyway, and then this dude that sits in the corner, he was, like, clicking a bunch of stuff and things like that. I'm like, dude, you should just, like, do it softly. You know, y'all can always just, like, do the clicker on your laptop, like, do the soft, like, I recommend not actually hitting it and clicking it. I would just, you know, like, tap, tap, you know what I'm saying? And then, so I already knew that he wasn't paying attention. And then the girl that sits in front, or kind of next to him or one seat over from him, she's always attentive and always taking notes. So, yeah. Every single one of us was just not it. We were just not having it, my peeps. Like, we were over it. We're like, yeah, lady, we understand that you were trying to teach us this, but we're over it. We understand this. We understand what you're trying to do here, and we appreciate you for being very into your job and actually doing your job. But we're just not giving it today. I mean, and, like, most times, like, we'll, like, laugh at her jokes and things like that, because they'll actually be funny or whatever, but, like, we were just, like, not giving it. We were, like, I don't know, maybe, like, just, like, the atmosphere or whatever. Like, we were just, like, done and over with. Oh my god, I, like, talked about that for, like, 10 minutes. But anyway, then we get to, what is it? Then we're done. It's over. Hallelujah. Whatchamacallit? We get done. We go back to the dorm room. I call my mom and stuff. We, like, talk, and I'm talking to my sister also. We're, like, laughing and giggling and, like, calling each other out and all that good stuff. And then my mom's like, girl, you need to get off this phone, and call them HP people back. I went back on the phone with the HP people, and excuse me, I'm on the phone with this nice lady. She was so kind and so helpful and, like, so patient and everything. And we did all these, like, different steps or whatever, and it didn't work. So she's like, it could be like some faulty cartridges or whatever. So I'm going to send you some new ones free of charge or whatever, obviously, because we got that warranty on there. Warranty. So we do all that good jazz. And then y'all gotta watch the next video to see what happens next. Hey, see what I did there? Hey, because this video is already long enough anyway. So y'all got a lot of good content in here, which means hopefully y'all will watch the next video. Anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on them post notifications so y'all get notified every single time I post a video. Hey, even if you didn't like the video, you can always give it a dislike, but guess what? That ain't gonna stop me from doing what I like to do. So I will see y'all next time. Remember, please be safe, social distance, wear your mask, protect yourself and other people, because guess what? You're not the only person on this planet. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.